the Panthers, and they put it immediately on the goal. Walker again covers up, and again we will see the face-off to the right-hand side of netminder Shane Walker.
Getting a little chippy there. That time Sikora smacked down on one of the Panther sticks as he was going towards the goal after the puck had been covered up.
Face-off won this time by the Eagles, but South Park cannot clear the zone. Lynette's digging for it with a couple of white jerseys along the near boards. Knocked aside for the moment by Sikora, but kept in by the Panthers. Around the boards it will go. It's cleared out by Yost. And Franklin Regional will try to retreat, but fast skating by Yost. He'll gather in the puck for the visitors. Yost trying to work it over to Zandier. Now Yost trying to dig it away as Zandier has it trapped along the far corner. Dug out, it'll sail behind Payon. And the puck is cleared out by Gismondi. Gismondi working off to Huffman. Out front, Gismondi can't pull the triggers. It's knocked away by a South Park defender. Out front the puck goes, but it sails to the boards behind Walker. Wraparound opportunity there for Coretta, and Walker will cover up as the puck was loose, and again we have some pushing and shoving. And from our vantage point, the puck was covered up, but apparently the puck was loose, and the Panthers continue to dig at it.
Yeah, you don't have to tell these players to play through the whistle. If they see the puck whatsoever, they're going for it. It's really been we've seen probably 5 or 6 face-offs already in this period deep in South Park territory. It's critical for the Eagles that they're able to win these draws outright or at least tie up the Panthers momentarily until they're able to get sound positionally.
And that's exactly what the Eagles did there. While Franklin Regional ultimately won the face-off, the Eagles were able to set up their defense and clear the zone out.
They can't give up any clear face-off chances for the Panthers with all the chances they've had on the face-offs.
Drake Brown rips a wrister from the top of the circle. It's gloved by Walker, and again we'll see a face-off. A stagnated pace here in the third period. Lots of face-offs through the first 5 minutes. Face-off won by the Eagles, zone cleared by the Panthers, or rather by the Eagles. Again, a shot put on net. Walker can't cover it cleanly, and now he will have to cover it up as the Panthers knocked it back in. Walker has to cover up, and we will see a face-off to his right-hand side again.
And Walker's dictating the pace of this contest right now. Clearly, he's comfortable slowing things down. He has a lot of faith, obviously, in his centers to win these draws as well.
Face-off won by the Panthers. Backhanded shot goes to the side of the net. It's scooped up by Bennett for the Panthers. Panthers working it back. Festa back to Bennett. Bennett out front. Tries to spin it towards the net. Now he'll have to retreat to the near boards to gather it in. Back behind the net it goes, then out front. Panthers can't pull the trigger. It's cleared out by the Eagles. They'll skate 3-on-3, or trying to press the issue. He lost the stick. As the puck goes to the far boards, Dakota McIntyre will gather it in for the Panthers. Now Bennett working it off for Barely. Near boards it will come, scooped up by Bennett again. Bennett, who scored the first goal of the game, has been active over the last couple of minutes for the Panthers. Bennett trying to dig it out, but it's kept in by the Panthers, and we will see a penalty against the host team as the South Park Eagle is down on the deck. Down in that far corner, slow to get up, is the South Park player in Gismondi, or Puglisi rather. Puglisi, who was involved in an altercation early in this period, is slow to go to the bench, and we will see the Eagles head back to the power play as a penalty committed by Dakota McIntyre.
Yeah, the first penalty here in this third period. Remember, South Park got its first tally on the power play. This might be I'm thinking this is a 10-minute penalty because the Panthers have sent a second skater in there, most likely to serve the 2 minutes.
So that is exactly what it will be. There will be some sort of misconduct, whether it's a 2 and 10 or 2 in a game, but either way, we will see probably a 2 and 10 because McIntyre did stay in there. I believe McIntyre was the guilty party. And a power play opportunity here for the Eagles. Natero, high left. Trying to work it down the near boards. Send it out to Zandier. He can't pull the trigger, but it's worked out, and the shot is put on the net by Jacob Hickey, and Hickey's able to get the shot behind Payon, and the first lead of the game for the South Park Eagles comes with 10:34 to play in regulation.
Yeah, just 32 seconds into that power play, Hickey, the beneficiary, looked like the puck just coincidentally ended up right on his stick, and he wasted little time firing that one on goal. And as you mentioned, Adam, the first lead of the contest now for South Park as they get their second power play goal.
So Franklin Regional looking to determine who they are going to have out there. So after the goal, we have offsetting penalties, one against either team. So they will skate 5-on-5, but there will be an Eagle and a Panther in the penalty box for the next 2+ minutes.
Hickey, that is his 10th goal of the season, and certainly a big one here.
Incidentally, Hickey is one of the guilty parties in the extracurriculars after the whistle, and Hickey is in the sin bin. Out in front, Panthers putting the pressure on. Shots by Festa knocked aside by Walker.
Looked like Walker made a terrific pad save earlier, one of those chances from the Panthers.
Yeah, Fusting really putting the pressure on. Near boards, it'll come for Yost, but it's kept in. Hard hit along those boards by Puglisi, and the Eagles look to clear it out. Yost can't get the stick on the puck as it'll sail to the near boards. 4-3 the score, with South Park their first lead of the hockey game. Backhanded shot knocked aside by Payon. Worked out by the Panthers. Bennett pushing it back behind Walker. It's scooped up by Natero. Natero works out far boards, knocked to neutral ice by an Eagle. Knocked back behind Walker again. And the Panthers look to set the offense. Strong defensive play, though, by Linnetz. And the puck is cleared out by the Eagles. Neutral ice, it'll go again. Scooped up by Zandier. 2-on-3 go the Eagles. Puck goes high. The Panthers gather it in. Out in front of Payon it will go. An opportunity for Zandier, kicked aside by Payon. Puck scooped up by Coretta for the Panthers. Cleared out by Franklin Regional down the near boards. It'll come for Morrow. Morrow knocking into the side of Walker where it's gathered in by an Eagle. Zone cleared and it will touch a rafter. It looked like it was going to sail through the rafters and stay clean, but it does carom off of a rafter, and we will have a face-off top of the circle to the right-hand side of Shane Walker. 8:36 to play in regulation. It's 4-3. South Park leading Franklin Regional.
And now the question, how do the Panthers respond facing adversity? As we mentioned, the first deficit that Franklin Regional has had this contest. They still have plenty of time, over 8.5 minutes here. The officials trying to sort something out. Now looks like they're ready to go.
And one of the officials went over again to talk to Derek Podlak, the head coach of the South Park Eagles. Near boards it comes. Morrow trying to work it out front, but it's knocked away by a South Park defender. Cleared out by the Panthers, or rather by the Eagles. Campalong. Along the near boards it'll go. Now it'll sail to the far boards. Walton scoops it up for the Eagles and again clears it out. Panthers push it back in. Walton gathers it in for the South Park Eagles. Franklin Regional sending white jerseys at the cage. Puck gathered in by Franklin Regional, and the Panthers will tie it as the puck was loose in front of Walker. Going topside was Tyler Newell, and we're knotted up at 4-all.
Yeah, Newell just Johnny on the spot there. Is it all started with an errant clearing pass there by South Park. The turnover allowed Franklin Regional to get a quick shot on goal. Looked like it hit just off the side of the net, but came to Newell back in front, and he was able to distribute it in, and we get a very decisive response there from Franklin Regional, able to battle the adversity and tie this one up. And once again, it looks like this one's going to be back and forth all the way down to the wire.
Jacob Hipke and his co-combatant are now out of the penalty box, so Dakota McIntyre for Franklin Regional, who's serving the 10-minute misconduct, is the lone player for either team in the penalty box along the far boards. Hickey now trying to put pressure on goaltender Payon. 4-4 your score with 7 minutes and 35 seconds to play in regulation. Puck sailing towards Payon. Locked to the near boards. Festa can't gather it in cleanly for the Panthers. The Eagles keeping it in, at least for the moment. Hickey takes a stick to the backside and will dig it out. Still, South Park trying to keep it in along these near boards, and it's taken away by Fusting. Knocked to neutral ice and then pushed back in by South Park. Down along the near boards it will come. Cleared to center ice. But the Eagles can't dump it back in. The Panthers will apply some pressure. Puck slid past Walker. Out front it will go. Pulling the trigger but not getting a good shot was Yowie. And Yowie had 2 opportunities on that offensive rush for the Panthers.
Yeah, Walker just a little bit slow to respond on some of these chances for Franklin Regional. Looks like he's caught off guard sometimes on some of these tough angle shots. The Panthers starting to get the idea that they should just fire it from anywhere on the ice.
Shot goes wide on Walker. The miss on the cage by Beerley. Now Beerley with it. He'll knock it in. Walton will retreat for the Eagles. Trying to reset the Eagles offense, but the puck is kept in by Brown. Brown for the Panthers. Leaving it back. It'll sail behind the net where Novak tries to dig it out for Franklin Regional. Now again Brown with it. Zandier takes it away for the Eagles. Zandier to the far boards. Linnets can't clear the zone. Rister put on the cage by Novak, covered up by Shane Walker, and Walker again will see a face-off to his right-hand side.
Novak not much on that one. He just threw it on net, forced Walker to make the save, and Walker once again covers it up and gets the face-off.
I think Novak's thought process may have been if there's a rebound, Newell had a good opportunity to bury that one and gain the lead back for the Panthers. Newell won the face-off for the moment for the Panthers, but it's dug out by the Eagles, and they will ultimately clear the zone. Knocked back by Brown for Franklin Regional, and will come to the near boards. Fighting for it, Tyler Newell. Dug out by Novak, back to Newell. And the Panthers knocked to the far boards. Scooped up by Gerhold for the moment. Cleared out by the Panthers. Now with the puck is Orr. Orr trying to work around the defender, and he'll be upended at the top of the circle. Franklin Regional with an opportunity to clear it out, and they do so. Walton to dump it back in for the Blue Shirts. Back behind the net, it'll come to the near corner. South Park trying to dig it out, but the Panthers clear it out. Sailing quickly comes Newell. Newell, wrister, and it'll sneak behind Walker! Somehow it got between the glove of Walker and the left post, and it's a 5-4 hockey game. Franklin Regional seizes the lead back.
And that time Newell goes short side, and as you mentioned, just snuck it through Walker. I think Walker is expecting something to be ripped on the far side towards his blocker hand, but ultimately Newell is able to get his second goal in a matter of 3 minutes and 3 seconds to once again give the Panthers the edge, this time 5-4.
So just under 5 minutes to play here. Franklin Regional has the lead 5-4. Face-off won by the Eagles, but it's gathered in quickly by Morrow, who wrists it into Eagles ice, where it's gloved by Walker, and there'll be a face-off to the right-hand side of Walker.
And for Newell, with this explosion over the last few minutes, looking for him here of how many goals he had coming into the contest.
Face-off won by the Eagles, or rather by the Panthers. A wrister put on, covered up by Walker, and a penalty by Cameron Huffman immediately after the puck was covered up by Walker. And Huffman will head to the penalty box. And a power play for the Eagles here with 4:48 to play in the third period. A prime opportunity to tie this match up.
Yeah, looking for their third power play, tally the contest. And how about this, Newell? Just one goal coming in, and he gets 2 in the last 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Although, as you mentioned, Adam, the power play opportunity for South Park here to try to get the equalizer.
Now they put the penalty on the board properly. It was up initially for South Park, but instead they'll move it over to Franklin Regional, and that's where we will see the Eagles go on this power play. 1:40 to play in the power play, 4:25 to play in regulation. Eagles, who took their first lead at 4-3, but it's 2 unanswered for the Panthers to hold this 5-4 advantage. Zandier now with it for the Eagles. They'll try to work it off of Payon outside. And back behind the net it'll go. Dug out by Bennett and into neutral ice, where it will sail all the way into Eagles territory, and they'll be forced to retreat and gather it in with less than 4 minutes to play and just over 1 minute to go in the power play. Hickey leaving it back for a teammate, but no blue shirt was there. It's cleared out by the Panthers, and again the Eagles are forced to retreat, and Walker actually will have to cover it up as the puck was headed towards Walker. And there'll be a face-off in Eagles ice with 57 seconds to go in the Eagles power play, and a 1-goal lead for the Panthers.
Just a bit of indecisiveness right there for South Park as a pair of defenders were looking at each other to decide who's going to go after it. Neither one of them rushing over immediately, and as you mentioned, Walker has to cover it up as a result. We're going to get a timeout now as South Park's trying to draw something up to get back in this one, with just 3:45 remaining and 57 seconds showing on the penalty to Franklin Regional.
Coach Derek Podolak using this opportunity to talk offense and obviously defense, the name of the game for Brian Kurtz, the head coach of the Franklin Regional Panthers. Again, looking forward for these two teams. Franklin Regional will hit the road, taking on Greensburg-Salem Thursday night, 7:15 face-off in Greensburg at the Kirk Nevin Arena, while the South Park Eagles will take on South Fayette at the Ice Castle on Thursday at 6:40.
It's a pretty convenient drive for Franklin Regional up to Greensburg. That's probably, I would estimate, less than 15 minutes from where we're at right now.
And not a long drive at all, just out Route 22, and then you head up 119, and it's right out there near Crabtree. 57 seconds to go in the power play for the South Park Eagles, but Franklin Regional has done a great job on this penalty kill thus far, and now they hold the advantage as they will face off against the Eagles inside of Eagles ice. Face off won by Franklin Regional's captain Zachary Beerley, and the Eagles will retreat and gather it in. Campalong going to the far boards where the puck is scooped up by Yost but kicked out by the Panthers, and Walker has to direct the puck to the far corner where the Eagles will again try to reset the rush here with 30 seconds to play in the power play and 3:15 to play in the hockey game. Linnetz has it on the high post near side, and high slot near side rather. Digging for it in the near corner, I believe, was Hickey, but it's dug to the far side and out by Franklin Regional. And there has not been much of an offensive rush here in this power play for the South Park Eagles. And again, a blue line defensive play, this time by Merlina, will kill the penalty. A great penalty kill there for Franklin Regional, stymieing a prime opportunity for the Eagles to tie the game.
Yeah, that was a big one after a power play goal already in this third period from South Park. Franklin Regional up to the task with a great kill, and they're going to have a chance coming off it.
It's Newell on to Walker. Walker stops it. Out front it will go. Two Panthers had an opportunity. Neither could pull the trigger. Out again it will go to Newell. The puck is loose. Walker kicks it aside, and it's dug out by South Park. Knocked back in by the Panthers, but South Park will clear it out after the high stick on the puck by Franklin Regional. Zandier puts it on the cage. Payon covers it up, and Franklin Regional will see a face-off to the left of Payon. And with 2:10 to play here, Payon making a big stop on the leading scorer for South Park.
Yeah, big saves on both ends. First it was Walker, and then, as you mentioned, Payon on a good chance there by South Park as the Eagles came in with speed, trying to look for the equalizer.
Shots thus far, 27-21. Franklin Regional has re-seized the lead, and a timeout taken here by Franklin Regional with 2:10 to play. The Panthers on top 5-4 here in this non-conference contest. Franklin Regional, the top team out of Single A Tier 1 East, while the Eagles are the top team out of Single A Tier 2 West.
I mentioned the top 2 teams from the Eastern and the top 2 teams from the Western Conference in Tier 2 qualify for the postseason.
Obviously, the class of Class Single A is Quaker Valley, the defending champs. And they're putting together a great season.
Yeah, how about 15 straight without a loss for the Quakers?
31 points this season for Quaker Valley. Their closest competition just behind them is Mars with 28 points. And nobody else even close to the upper 20s in Single A. Face-off won by Franklin Regional. They'll clear the zone. The Eagles forced to retreat, but Bennett, who scored the first goal for the Panthers, scoops it up, trying to put pressure on. Puck kicked in by Gismondi, and Yost is forced to retreat and gather it back in for South Park. Lynette's digging for it along those far boards. Bennett doing his part for the Franklin Regional Panthers. Now it's dug out by Barely. Out to the high right point. Gismondi can't pull the trigger clearly as it comes to the near boards. Knocked away by the Eagles and dug out by Festa. No, check that. That is Zandier. Zandier for the Eagles. Weaving through traffic. Rister onto the net. Goes wide, and it's 6-on-5 as far as the skaters go. An empty net for the Eagles. With it along that far corner is Hickey. Hickey to the near boards. And the Panthers trying to dig it out. A lot of blue jerseys sailing around Payon right now with under a minute to play.
Seeing a lot of urgency here from South Park.
Natero high on the left side. Knocking it back to behind the net of Payon. Payon's going to cover it up and will have a face-off to his right-hand side.
Good opportunity there for South Park, and still plenty of time. 49 seconds remaining, especially if they get this face-off win. As we mentioned, the extra attacker is the net vacated down at the other end.
So Zandier will take the face-off for South Park. The puck sits idly on the ice. Now Natero rips one. It'll sail wide to the far corner or skates it down for South Park. Or working it back behind the net where Zandier digs it to the near boards. Franklin Regional fighting for it. And the Panthers had the possession momentarily, but Natero keeps it in. Puck bounces off of the head of a defender in Merlina, and it's cleared out by the Panthers. And an icing will be called with 22 seconds to play. Again, we'll see a face-off deep inside of Panthers ice. And right now, the pressure being applied by the Eagles, but the Panthers are up to the task.
Yeah, Franklin Regional potentially could milk this clock away if they win this face-off for South Park. If you win it, you want to send a lot of bodies in front, just try to get a deflection, try to get a rebound opportunity.
Face-off dug out by the Panthers. Puck knocked off of the boards, and it'll sail down this near ice again, crossing the goal line. No icing is called. And the puck goes out in front, and that will do it as the puck finds this tape of Cameron Huffman, and Huffman puts it into the net. And it's 6-4 with 6 seconds to play. So after the icing was waved off, the Panthers were able to gather in the loose puck. The Eagles not able to clear it out cleanly, and Huffman's goal will be the deciding factor in this one, as it's 6-4, Franklin Regional on top of South Park.
Huffman's second goal of the contest, this one able to seal the victory. And a good job there by Franklin Regional in the closing minutes. They came up strong defensively. That's been an issue all season long, but they were up to the task when it counted most in this one.
Again, 6-4 is your final score as the Franklin Regional Panthers defeat the South Park Eagles, avenging a loss earlier in the season when South Park was able to knock off the Panthers in a contest earlier this year. We're going to step away. When we return, we shift into the post-game show. You've been listening to PIHL High School Hockey, brought to you by Trib Total Media here on the MSA Sports Network.
Life is about having the confidence to know you can do anything, right? I get that at Carlo.
I graduated with top awards, but beyond the classroom, Carlo helped me learn a lot about myself.
Carlo brings out the best in you.
I know I'm going to be a fantastic nurse.
I know whatever I come across, I'll be prepared.
I can't think of a better place to start the rest of my life, because at Carlo, I know I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
Enroll at Carlo University. Visit carlo.edu.
Want to learn how to ice skate or play hockey like they do in the PIHL? Looking for a good place to throw that winter birthday party? If you answered yes, Blade Runners is the place to go for public or private skating sessions, plus learn to skate and learn to play hockey classes. And don't forget to check out PIHL game action at their 2 locations in Harmarville and Warrendale. For more information on ice time, class and game schedules, or party planning, visit their website at www.bladerunnersice.com. See you at the rink.
Energy assistance is available for people's customers this winter. LIHEAP, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, provides grants to help pay winter heating bills. These grants are not loans and do not need to be paid back. Funding is limited this winter, so it is important to apply for LIHEAP now. Learn more about how a LIHEAP grant can help you or someone you know. Find out if you're eligible for LIHEAP by calling 1-866-827-1281 or visit peoples-gas.com/LIHEAP.
The new home for the PIHL in 2014-2015 is the MSA Sports Network. Not only can you listen to audio broadcasts of high school hockey games online like in years past, but this year MSA Sports will be video streaming 25 games live and archived during the regular season with exclusive coverage of the 2015 Penguin Cup playoffs. Your audio and video home of the PIHL is the MSA Sports Network.
6-4, your final score is the Franklin Regional Panthers defeat the South Park Eagles in this PIHL Single A Tier 2 non-conference matchup. And what a game it was as the South Park Eagles fought back time in and time out, and ultimately it was the Franklin Regional Panthers who had to fight their way back from a deficit. They were down 4-3, and then they scored 3 straight goals to win this hockey game by a final score of 6-4. Time to take a run through the Blade Runners scoring recap. And Sean Myers, you have those.
Yeah,
numbers.
Certainly a lot of offense as expected in this contest. 2 pretty good offenses, 2 defenses that struggle at times. Didn't take very long for Franklin Regional to get on the board. Just 5:04 into the contest. Ethan Bennett from Colton Cook, Joseph Merlina puts the Panthers up 1-0, but Kirk Zandier answers on the power play from Jacob Hickey and Tyler Gerhold. That coming at the 9:16 mark of that opening stanza ties it at 1. As we head to the second period, Zachary Barely, unassisted, gives Franklin Regional another lead. That one 2-1. But Hunter Linnetz answers at the 6:29 mark. Kirk Zandier and Brian Yost on the assist to make it 2-2. Franklin Regional once again surged ahead as Cameron Huffman from Ethan Yohe puts the Panthers up at the 12:20 mark. But once again, South Park up to the task of responding. Daniel Nataro from Brian Yost and Kirk Zandier makes it 3-3, and that was the score as we head to the third period. In that third period, South Park gets its first lead of the contest, courtesy of a Jacob Hickey power play tally from Tanner Orr and from Nataro. But Franklin Regional shows its resolve as the Panthers quickly battle back. At the 9:01 mark, it's Tyler Newell, the first of his 2 goals from Nick Coretta and Jamie Morrow, makes it 4-4, and then Newell again, this time from Colton Cook. That one coming at the 12:04 mark, puts Franklin Regional ahead 5-4, and then sealing the outcome was Cameron Huffman as he gets an empty net tally. Morrow and Merlina on the assists. The final score 6-4 in favor of the Franklin Regional Panthers. Franklin Regional also won the battle of the shots 27-22 in this contest.
That was your Blade Runners scoring summary. Blade Runners with locations in Warrendale and in Harmarville. Adam Gusky, Sean Myers on the call for you, wrapping it up as the Franklin Regional Panthers improve to 10-5 on the season now, 20 points on the year for the Panthers. Well, South Park gets their 5th loss on the season. They are now 11-5 on the year. Time to talk about the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena play of the game, and that is a very easy one, as it was Tyler Newell coming down from the high right side, skating towards the netminder, Shane Walker. Walker anticipated the puck going to his right-hand side, and somehow Tyler Newell was able to put that puck to the short side underneath the glove of Walker to tie this hockey game up at 4-all.
Yeah, Newell, as we mentioned, back-to-back goals, the tying one and then the go-ahead goal, and really a guy that you didn't expect a lot of offense from, just one goal coming into this contest, but he gets two goals just 3 minutes and 3 seconds apart, the tying goal and the winning goal for Newell. Certainly a good selection for the from the play of the game presented by, easy enough for me to say, the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena.
And I misspoke there momentarily. That was the winning goal by Newell that I did describe as it came down the right side and put it past Walker on the short glove side. And again, that's the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena play of the game. Mount Lebanon Ice Arena is the place for teens in the South Hills on Friday nights. And we had some debate about who the 3 stars will be, but obviously a couple of them jump off the page. Our number 1 star has got to be number 35, Tyler Newell for Franklin Regional. He had the tying and game-winning goals for the Panthers. The second star for Franklin Regional is going to be Huffman. Huffman had a couple of big goals for Franklin Regional, including the one that sealed the deal, the 6th goal of the game for Franklin Regional. And, who jumps off the page for you, Sean, for that third star from South Park?
I look at Kirk Zandier and the game that he had, not only getting that power play tally, but he also had assists on the second and third goal for South Park. So you look at 1 goal, 2 assists for Zandier, the leading scorer for that team. I thought he played a very good game, despite the fact that the Panthers, obviously realizing how potent of an offensive threat he was, really tried to take him out of it.
Again, your final score 6-4 as the Franklin Regional Panthers defeat the South Park Eagles. Sean Myers put a bow on this one.
A big win here for Franklin Regional. Really a fun story between two teams that struggled mightily a year ago, have completely turned around their fortunes here in the 2014-15 campaign. For Franklin Regional, this story gets even a little bit better as they get their 20th point now of the season with the critical victory here. For South Park, they're still in great shape. 22 points so far in the season. Both these teams most likely will be making the playoffs. South Park has such an insurmountable lead in that Western Conference that they're almost a shoo-in at this point. So you look at the great season for these teams, fitting that this one was a back-and-forth contest that came down to the closing seconds. Ultimately, it was the host Panthers that got some unlikely offense that it was able to put them over the top in this one.
With the win, the Franklin Regional Panthers improved to 10-5 on the year, 20 points on the season now for the host Panthers, while the visiting South Park Eagles fall to 11-5 on the season, but still 22 points, a good tally thus far for the South Park Eagles. Again, your final score 6-4, the victory for the host Franklin Regional Panthers. For my broadcast partner, Sean Myers, and our camera operator for today's video broadcast, Scott Majeski, I'm Adam Gusky, saying goodnight, everybody. You've been listening and watching high school hockey on the MSA Sports Network, brought to you by Trib Total Media.
You have been listening to the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League here at MSASports.net. Sponsored in part by the Mount Lebanon Ice Arena, by Blade Runners, by S-Mark, by First Commonwealth Bank, by People's Gas, by Carlow University, by UPMC Sports Medicine, by the East Suburban Sports Medicine Center, by J&J Distributing, and by Management Science Associates. You can follow the high school hockey season every day by logging on to www.msasports.net. The preceding has been a special presentation of the Management Science Associates Sports Network.